What is good, guys? It's Ray J back with another video, and in this one I want to break down what's going on with Tesla, SPY, Nvidia, the QQQ, and a couple of other tickers, and break down some new headlines coming out involving Wall Street and Tesla, what you should be watching for as time progresses. But before I break things down, let me just mention a couple of things. I'm firstly not a financial planner, so take nothing I say as financial advice. And then don't forget about the Moomoo link. The offer ends very soon. Deposit $100 and you're guaranteed 5 free stocks, put in $1,000 and you're guaranteed 15. So for Tesla, we got this big drop that happened in the pre-market because we had some bad news that came out involving Chinese production output numbers being cut. And then I warned everyone that Tesla should rebound. It dropped really hard. It should rebound a bit. That's what happened so far today as we're retesting 170, exactly as expected. Now we're going to be watching this resistance up here as Tesla's at a key level. We have some new news from Wall Street. So basically, when we have these falls on Chinese production, there are a lot of talks about Tesla missing on deliveries. I want to make that very clear that there's nothing guaranteed just yet, so don't be too excited about that or don't be too concerned. I am going to note that there is a risk of that happening, but I want to wait and see the numbers to come out first. But Wall Street has come out, so they have this big announcement. They're now at a consensus of about Q1 deliveries reaching 481,000 units. Some people may think that's a little bit high, but we'll see how Tesla does. But watch this number and remember this number 481,000. Can Tesla get that many deliveries or not for Q1? We'll just have to wait and see. But there are a lot of concerns right now. All the headlines are screaming Tesla's falling on the Chinese production, they're cutting on output. There's a lot of pressure for them building, as the reports suggest. Continued Chinese demand is slowing. All this stuff is coming out all over the headlines, all over the media. Tesla stock drops on report is reducing EV output at Giga Shanghai. That's making all the headlines for now. I went over some very important statistics in the morning, showing you guys how sales in China year over year are a little bit down for Tesla, not the strongest. So there's some signs of slowing demand. And that's part of why Tesla's making the moves that it's making. But it's not just because of China; it's also because of other parts of the world, like the European Union, uh, not to mention the U.S. So slowing demand overseas is also affecting these Chinese numbers. That's very important to note. For SPY, I just want to remind you all that we have some very interesting statistics here. We have about at 2.63 puts to call ratio, max pains move up to 518, slowly climbing upwards. There's a lot of puts expiring, so we're going to be watching to see if SPY truly comes down. It's a little bit down right now, but will the market makers play a trick and then try to push markets up again? We'll just have to wait and see. But that's why I wanted to give you guys a warning. So for Tesla, this is trying to rebound a bit. We're going to be watching this 170 resistance. If we break past this, we could actually approach 171, very close to the 20 EMA, then 172 above that. If we break that, our next target is going to be all the way up to 173.75 and 175. Now, Tesla's has this very, very tight resistance around 170. It's been shopping a lot. If we end up losing support right over here around this 169 area, watch it come down to 167.8 and eventually 165. The levels right now in Tesla are very, very tight, but I do see some potential for it to try to push a little bit higher before it tries to end up getting a rejection. So as of right now, it's gonna be very, very choppy, not really doing a whole lot. But on the other hand, we have SPY right here, which is pretty interesting. SPY is very choppy, not the best for trading. And what they're doing is they're trying to hurt premiums when it comes to all these options on SPY. And that's part of why it's very, very choppy. So it sold off a bit, just a little bit, all the way down to about 521. I did mention there's a head and shoulders, but I'm not going to solely trade based off this because if they try to push SPY up, and I want you guys to be open to the possibility of more and more manipulation, but if these market makers start pulling off their tricks, you're going to be watching this 522 resistance. If we break past this, we could push back up to 523.25. And if we break past that, there's 524 coming. For support, I'm going to be watching 521 flat. And then if we lose that, we could come all the way down to about 520 flat. We haven't lost 521 yet. We're actually holding it for now. So we'll see if we get a bounce or not. But be open to that possibility because those market makers are very, very tricky. They could be trying to play games with us with these head and shoulder structures. They don't always play out. They sometimes are now going to be used to trick retail. So I'm going to be watching this structure very, very carefully just to see how this ends up playing out. This could be another resistance we could actually build from like right here. I'd be watching this carefully as well on SPY. And then we'll have to see how SPY ends up holding up amidst this current channel. So this could be forming like a flag at the same time. This could be forming a flag. Nothing is guaranteed quite yet. If we break through this flag, I think we're going to be breaking back to the all-time high if we break through the 522.5 area. So I'll be watching for both sides, guys. We could sell off more if we lose 521, and then 520 the gap fill becomes a real possibility. But if the market makers are trying to play a game with all these puts expiring, for confirmation for a breakout, you want to see it break past this yellow line right here. If we break past this, then we could start pushing back up above the all-time high. So it's going to be a lot of trickery. As of right now, we're on a downtrend. SPY has been downtrending, so it's going to likely continue to downtrend unless we get a break. So watch it very carefully. It is showing some signs of downtrending, looking a little bit weak, but just to be safe, make sure you watch your levels, okay? So just wanted to give you guys a warning. On the QQQ, it's essentially the same thing. The QQQ has been coming down quite a bit, but it's not really losing this 444 area. We did come very close to testing it. We did fill this gap down below. So now we're going to be watching resistance at 446, support at 444. Whichever way we break is going to determine the bigger move. If we break 446, the bigger push is coming towards 448. And if we end up losing 444, watch for a bigger drop to 442. Otherwise, we're very choppy on the QQQ, not really doing much. So watch and see how it goes. For Nvidia, we're showing some strength. Okay, we're showing some strength. It was looking kind of weak. We did not lose 908. I told you to be bearish. You want to see it lose 908. But we had some bullish news that came out, so now it's actually bouncing. So with that bounce coming, we're going to be watching resistance now at 932, not to mention 938 above that, and then 940. This does look bullish. This is actually holding it very nice. We got bullish news once again, and that's what ended up trumping these technical indicators. So now Nvidia is showing strength, and it could be on its way up to about 940 all over again. For Apple, and this is why the market is kind of moving the way it is, Apple's still holding up. I did say in my video, Apple has a double bottom and it could actually try to rebound a bit. So watch 172.5. We break this, we could get closer to 173.25 at this resistance that's like right here. Then we have 174 above that. Overall, we're holding up well on Apple, so we'll see how well it does. With that being said, guys, that's going to be a very, very quick technical update for a couple of hours after open. Have a great day, guys. Just know that Tesla has resistance at 170. It's trying to rebound, but we have a tight resistance. We're going to see if we get a rejection or not. There's a lot of bad news for Tesla. Don't be surprised if this thing does reject. And the media is very biased, so be careful, guys. Don't forget that Tesla is the most shorted stock in the USA. And it's no coincidence that this stock is just getting so much bad news. They want to bash it. They want it to drop, and these Wall Street, you know, people are just trying to buy the dips. If anything, these institutions are going to be buying the more it drops. So it's all part of their game. Never forget about that. Do not become too pessimistic. And remember that number I'm showing you guys in this video, that 481,000 delivery target. We'll see if Tesla can reach that target for deliveries for Q1. So keep that in the back of your mind. With that being said, I thank you all for listening. Have a great day, and I'll see you guys in just a couple of hours. Thank you for listening. Have a great day. Tesla to the moon, because the long term is still incredibly bright despite these short term fluctuations. And peace out.